Typically when I sit down to do these, I have an outline, I have a script, I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to talk about going in. I usually try to teach you something, try to educate you on something, or just try to bring awareness some of the things that we've used in our home. My name's Kimberly, mother to 4. I do have 2 children that have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. A third one's kind of in the process of maybe possibly getting a diagnosis. We're in the works of that right now. I have been in the autism community for 7+ years now. And I think one of the hardest things coming in is already feeling alone and already feeling isolated. It's been a heavy couple of weeks. It's been a heavy month just across the country, across the world. Then this week happened. If you have been following current events, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go into detail with it. I don't have a fancy news crew that I can just be like, hey, can you pull up the video? So I can't do that here. If you want to research it, you can go and research what happened in the news on Monday. I am not new to people accusing me of causing my children's autism. Maybe it was something that I did when they were 18 months old, something that I didn't do, something that I took, not taking enough folic acid, all of the things. I 100% believe in evidence-based practice. I believe in researching everything that we do. I research and find evidence-based practice for every practice that we do in our home that I'm going to share with you, that I'm going to do with my own children, because these are all things that I have done that I believe in. You need to look at test groups. You need to look at the time frame that the study was done, where the study was done. Was it done over multiple regions? Was it done in one specific group? There's so many factors that we could talk about, but I'm not going to. The reason that I sat down to record this is because I have had an inbox flooded. I have had people that I know leaving me text messages and voicemails, talking to me in person, asking me so many questions. And I have put on a very brave face, just like I'm sure all of you have. But this week has sucked. I have been fighting these emotions for 7+ years, wondering if it was something that I did or something different I could have done when I was carrying my child. But something that you learn, and if you're new in your journey, you probably haven't experienced this, but something that you learn along the way is that this is not something to be cured. My 7-year-old does not talk to me. He's never able to tell me about his day. When he cries himself to sleep, I don't know why. I can't comfort him because I don't know the cause. I don't know why he's crying. Does he have a headache? Could I just give him some Tylenol? Did he have a bad day? Is he scared? I don't know because he can't tell me. And if we are going to focus on anything, it should be the supports that we need as parents. And that's where the real root of all of this pain comes from. There's a couple different reasons. My child has autism. His hand flaps, his vocal stems when he gets excited, that's all a part of who he is. And if I were to take a part of that away, then I take a part of his personality. Would I love for him to talk to me? 100%. But that is why we have speech therapy in place. That's why I try to do as much research as I can about sensory processing so we can get him regulated, so he can sit down for speech therapy. So I can sit down with the speech therapist and learn from the speech therapist and be able to learn what they know and then implement it every day into our lives. And that's what we're about here at Supporting Autism Mama. It's supporting the parents. Because somewhere along the line, we're trying to cure everyone so that everyone is exactly the same, and that is not what this world is all about. If you follow me over on Instagram, you saw me post a carousel. It was pictures of my family, and it said, what is the cure for autism? And the cure for autism is us. It's the parents. It's our dedication, us learning what evidence-based research is and actually implementing that into our home. It's us staying up late, not getting any sleep, having to pick up an overtime shift in order to afford a sensory swing or a bubble tower, or the things that our children need that are extra just to regulate so that they can go to the bathroom, sit down and eat food at the table, so that they can learn how to use utensils at 7 years old, or sit down and eat a meal. The problem is not our children. The problem is the lack of resources. The lack of support. No one understands what it's like to maybe get 2 hours of intermittent sleep for 5+ years. No one understands that. unless they've been in the trenches. No one knows what it's like to constantly have people say, well, if they ate better, maybe they could talk better, or maybe they'd be able to do X, Y, and Z better. Well, I've tried all the things, and they'll only eat frozen pizza, this one certain brand. They'll only eat chicken nuggets from this one certain place. Do I understand that that is not healthy? 100%. 100%. Do you think that I have not tried to change it? Do you think that maybe there's something else going on? Do you think maybe we could stop and have some empathy? That would be great. I don't expect my children to be able to take a magic pill and be cured. My children just think differently than their neurotypical peers. And I, as a mother, actually find beauty in that. I think that a lot of the world thinks that everything is black and white, and it's not. And my children continue to show me that every single day. Vinny thinks different. Maxwell thinks different than I do. And I think that they are going to think of things and create things that have never been thought of because they think differently. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The biggest thing about bringing this all to light is that we have, again, increased that stigma. We've now attached another stigma to autism because it's now something, again, to be cured, because it's been shouted from the rooftops, we need to cure autism. My children, and hopefully the parents of those that follow me over at Supporting Autism Mama, are trying to create a world where we're just trying to change the world for our child. The cure for autism is us, the parents, on the sidelines. The parents who get zero sleep, who do the evidence-based research in order to figure out the next best game plan. It's the parents who are taking their children to therapy after therapy instead of sporting events. It's the parents who are trying every little thing that they can. They're setting up visual schedule after visual schedule, or changing their routine or not changing their routine so that they can survive with their child. We have attached a stigma to something that is just someone who just thinks different. My children are still happy. Autism is not something to be cured. It's something to accept and adapt. Our phrase at Supporting Autism Mama is to bridge the gap to adjusting to your new normal. New normal. Just because it's atypical of what my friends with neurotypical children do does not mean that it's not okay. Our routines, our structures, our days look different. But that's so I can set up an atmosphere for my children to thrive, so that they can have the tools to advocate for themselves, so that they can thrive later in life, so that they can hold a job, live on their own. Understand that profound autism does exist. I do understand that maybe my 7-year-old is going to live with me forever, but it is my job as his mother to set him up for success and to find all of the things that I can, so I know I did absolutely everything I can to make sure that he meets every goal that he wants. If his goal is to just sit outside with me because that brings him the most happiness, then so be it. But if he wants to be the next scientist, the best inventor of our time, then I'm gonna make that happen. Where we got off base, I don't know. I think the world thinks that everything is black and white, and it's just not. And if my children have taught me anything, it's that my life can look different than yours, but that doesn't make it bad. And so my job, and one of the reasons I started this podcast and why I started my social media accounts, is so that I can try to normalize that. Normalize the different things that we just have to do in our everyday lives so that our children can thrive. To set up our homes as a place for success. To try to bring home those goals that they set and outcomes that they set as school, speech, and OT, and all these specialists you go and see, and try to take all of that information and bring it back home, where most of it needs to be set up so our children can thrive. For another autism mom listening this week, I want you to know 3 things. You did not cause your children's autism. Your children are still your children. They still have personalities. They still have wants and desires. Just like always, we are their biggest advocates. So don't stop talking. I know you're probably getting every message you can from family right now, sending you news articles, asking you questions, bombarding you. If you need someone to talk to, my messages are always open. I'm in the trenches with you. Just know I'm thinking about you and I understand. And if you need me to yell at someone, I'll do that too. Because our children are children and our children need a voice, and it's our job to get that done. Stay strong out there, mamas.